Okay, anyone that's already trading now is going to get masses of value from this process, because it's going to help you be consistent. If you're just getting into trading, it's going to put you off on the right foot. You're going to start going about it the right way, implementing it into your life properly, how you can currently manage. So you're going to build it around your lifestyle rather than the other way around, and you're going to break that consistency. This is all for consistency. So whereas most people try and jump into the strategy and then they try and figure this bit out later, you must do this first. And if what I've just been over and all of the insights I've given you and kind of the authority to tell you this kind of stuff hasn't resonated and you haven't taken it in, then you probably can't help you. All right, but believe me, this is what you need to do. Someone is always typing, says Namai. I think that's just someone's like fell asleep with their head on the space bar. Okay, so someone's so gobsmacked their chewing gum just fell out. Their mouth, their jaw hit the thing, and they're speechless. They're just frozen in time. Their chewing gum just hit the space bar. All right, so is everyone ready? I want you to grab a pen and paper now, or if you've got your iPad or your little laptop or something, or your tablet or your phone, bring some notes, get some pen, get some paper, because the first thing I'm going to be talking about is how you can plan, okay? And then the second thing I'm going to be talking about is how you actually set up a daily routine, and I'm going to give you the exact tool that you can have. It's going to come out in the email later today for you guys that stay to the end. Okay, so if you're not staying to the end, just make sure you leave the flipping thing open at least. All right, we're monitoring who's in here, and the people that stay to the end each day get rewarded. It's only fair. It's only fair. So, I want to talk a little bit about planning, and the reason I want to talk about planning is because this has been a very powerful process. I gave this to the guys on the Ascension. And it was revolutionary. It was mind-blowing, and I've done this for businesses. I've given it to business startups, and it has been revolutionary for them. And there's nowhere where it's more important to do this than it is in trading. Okay, so does everyone struggle with planning? Does everyone kind of struggle with juggling things? Few of you, most of you. Okay, so what I want you to think about, and you might have heard me say this before, but when you're planning stuff, and I want to give you the example of planning a year, okay? So when you're planning a year, let's just say we're planning a holiday, okay? We're going to plan a 7-day holiday, and to plan that 7-day holiday, to look through the kind of holidays, the villas, pick one, ring them up, book it, book the flights, do the insurance, book the parking at the airport or the taxi, do the atoll, get the travel insurance, make sure the passports are up to date, buy the clothes for the holiday, pack for the holiday. You probably plan, it probably takes about 2 hours max, okay? Now the thing is that I always say here is, if you're planning a 7-day holiday and you're spending 2 hours planning a 7-day holiday, does the holiday go to plan? Yeah. More often than not, it goes to plan, right? Exactly how you planned it. You get there, you go, unless they lose your luggage, which is beyond your control, it goes to plan. If you've planned a barbecue, you've had the barbecue. If you've planned a party, you've had the party. If you've planned buying a new car, you've got the new car. If you've planned going to, on a trip, you've gone on the trip. And it's all because you've planned it. Okay? Now, the problem is people don't apply that to planning their actual life or their goals or their missions or their projects. So let's just go back to the holiday example. If you was to spend 2 hours of a holiday planning a 7-day holiday, it's about 1.85% of the holiday. Okay? Now, if you was to apply that to a year, taking into consideration when you're asleep and all that kind of stuff, it would be about 10 to 7 days, assuming you're asleep for 16 hours per day. 1.85%. Yeah. Okay. Now, who spends 7 to 10 days planning their year then? Hardly anyone. And they wonder why they don't get any results. They wonder why last year they were talking about trading. The year before that, they were talking about being a trader. The year before that, they were talking about being a trader. Some people have been talking about trading successfully for 6, 7 years and never actually put it in place. Never gone through the motions of doing it. And it's because they don't plan. Because everything else you've planned, you've done. Right? If you want to I just plan for my son's school play and you have to make a little costume or whatever it is, you do it and it's done. But people don't apply that to things that they feel like they're going to procrastinate on because they don't know where to start. So I'm going to tell you where to start. I'm going to give you everything you need to do it. So has everyone got a pad and a pen or some means of taking notes here? Or even screenshots, right? So I want you to think about 3 or 4 things you want to do over the course of the next 12 months. Now that might be learning to trade. It might be some other big goal that you've got. It might be something else. Right? I would assume you're going to put learning to trade in there. Okay. I'm going to put learning to trade in the example. Write down 3 or 4 things that you want to do in the next year. Now, it doesn't have to be 3 or 4. It could be 1. It could be 2. The less things you got, the easier, the more likely you are to achieve it. But you can put 3 or 4 things because the way I'm going to show you is going to blow your mind. I call this galaxy planning. So you start far out of the galaxy. Okay, and then what we want to do is we want to break it into quarters. So the year is in quarters. So what's today? Is it the end of August, 19th of August? We're going to go from now until the 19th of August next year. All right. Now that is broken up into 4 90-day slots, which are called quarters, in case you didn't know. So scribble this out on a piece of paper. Plan 3 or 4 things. Break the year into 4. Okay, now you could add those 3 or 4 things over these 4 quarters. You can actually, if you've got 3 things, one can spread over 2 quarters. All right, has everyone got that? Now what you want to do is you want to plan the quarters. So break each quarter into 7 steps. So we're looking at 1 quarter now. Discard the rest, and we're just going to focus on that 1 quarter. And we're going to have 7 action items to do in that quarter. Not a lot, is it? Now let's just say that one of them is learn to trade that you said that you did on your thing. Okay, so let's break learning to trade down. Let's say that you're going to learn the basics, learn a system, and do some testing and open a demo account. Okay, so what we want to do is break that into 7 action steps. So let's just do 3 things, right? Learn the basics, learn a strategy, open a demo account. They're the only things you want to get done. Doesn't mean you're going to start trading after this first quarter, but they're the 3 things that you want to get done, and you want some structure around getting them done so that they get done. And you're not still talking about it next year, next quarter 1. Is this making sense so far? So what we're going to do is we're going to stick learning the basics in these 2 sections or these 3 sections. Okay? Be kind to yourself. Learning a strategy in these 3 sections. Maybe we do 2.5. Then 2. And then opening a broker account, maybe in this section, and setting all that stuff up. Okay? Okay, so what you've got is the quarters spread the 90 days over the 7 steps. So you've got 90 days in these 7 steps. And what that looks like is this. So now, is this starting to be less daunting? because each one of these days you can chip off. Right? Now, what I'm going to share with you now is the next step, okay? Because what we're going to do is we're going to set up our sessions. Now, I just want to kind of give you a rule of thumb here, right? If you can only look at the charts twice a day and no more, go for the daily time frames if you're learning to trade. If you can maybe no more than 4 times per day, go for the 4 hour. But if you can't do any less than 4 times per day, you don't want to be going down to the hourlies necessarily, particularly not when you're learning. I think you'd agree, Akil, I think you'd agree, Darren and Charles. You know, people try and jump into those lower time frames when they can't do it. They just can't do it. So if you can only check the daily, the charts twice a day and no more, the daily time frames is where you want to be looking to trade. Okay. If you can only check 4 times a day and no more, go for the 4 hour. And any less, obviously, you can consider the hourly. I definitely wouldn't consider the hourly if you're brand new or any lower. Just make it easy on yourself. Trade around your life. Don't live around your trading. Absolutely. Good saying. Good saying. Okay, we get so many people come unstuck when they're trying to trade the lower time frames. They go about their daily life as they normally do and their commitments, and they're just meant to take a trade, but the client calls or the meeting is up and they've got to take the kids to the school, or they've got to go and run errands, or, you know, it just gets in the way and you're trying to force it around your life. So what you want to do with that in mind, what we want to do now is set our sessions. So when can you consistently dedicate to learning to trade? And if you are trading, we're going to set your sessions for your pre-market analysis, your setups, okay, and your post-market analysis and your journaling. And we're going to set all that stuff up. Okay. So write down some sessions. I'm going to go through this in detail in a sec, based on what I've just said. And what I'm going to show you, there's a little tool here. If I can just everyone see this? Can everyone see this? Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to set up our sessions. So pause where we was at just now. And what we want to do is start adding our sessions into here. And I'll show you why we've got hours on there and things like that in just a sec. But what we want to do is set our sessions. So we might say, okay, well on a Monday, and this could be learning or it could be trading. If it's trading, it's probably every day. If it's learning, you might set certain days a week. So you might say, okay, right, on a Monday, I'm going to do some learn basics. Bang. And I'm going to start at 0600 in the morning. And I'm going to do that until 0800 in the morning. Okay? And you can see we've got our little 2-hour checklist here. And the reason I've got 2 hours, I'll explain this in a minute, because this is, again, based off experience of working with traders, seeing who comes through, seeing who goes on and does well, and what the correlation is there. And then we will say, right, at lunch, I might have time to check some analysis. Okay, so you might be practicing what you've learned based on the basics, and you might be only able to do that for, you know, half hour at lunch. So we're going to say half hour at lunch. Okay. The next day, or later on in the evening, you might do some post-market checks. Okay, and you might be able to do that from 2200 to 2300. Okay. And as you go in and populate this, what you're doing is you're setting your non-negotiable sessions. Okay, so what we could do is on a Tuesday, you might have errands to run. So on Tuesday, it's late afternoon and you say, right, learn basics. And I'm going to do that from 1500 to 1700. Okay. Now, can you see the purpose of this? You're adding in your sessions. All right. So that this isn't anything to do with actually placing trades. It's making sure you get goals hit, making sure that you learn, making sure that you grow, making sure that you're working on your trading. So that when we go back to here, okay, let me just find the slide again. When we go back to here, you know when to plan your sessions in, and during these sessions you work on these little things in here. Make sense? And this makes progress. Exactly that. Exactly that. So once you've done that, you put it in your calendar. Okay, here's my calendar right here. I've got all different things from all different areas of my life. Okay, and then what you've got is a progress and a time. So the progress is knocking these little sticks off here, these little notches here. And the time is obviously elapsing, which is the future. So all we need to do is decide what ones we need to hit during our sessions that we've booked into our daily routine planner. And we need to beat the time. And even if you don't beat the time, you get to the end and you've done much more than you said you was going to do last year because you've planned it. Make sense? Good. Has this helped anyone? Just to visualize this stuff can really be a light bulb moment. Game changer. Very helpful. Aha moment. Good. Because the more you can break stuff down, the more daunting it becomes, the more likely you are to not procrastinate and do it. And the more you can break it down into tiny little tasks, the more likely you are to achieve it. Okay, so now it's going to be your turn, and I'm going to be giving you this in tonight's email. For those of you who have stayed to the end, we're going to be giving this to you, and I want you to go and fill this in, fill in the sessions, put it in your calendar, put it in your damn calendar. Do a family calendar on iCalendar and share it with the whole family and say, this is when I'm doing it. This is what I'm doing and when. Please do not disturb me. Okay? And book in the sessions. Now, why does it tally up the time at the end? Well, we've found that the higher you can get this number, typically if you can get this over 15 hours, all right? If you can get this over 15 hours, we've seen a direct correlation in people succeed in trading that were spending over 15 hours on their trading education. And I'll tell you why. Well, why do you guys think? It's pretty obvious when you say it like this. 15 per week, yeah, 15 per week. Why do you think people have a much more higher success rate when it goes over 15 hours? Well, let me tell you. One, they're much more invested in it. Okay. Two, because of the time they're putting in, they're seeing much more results quicker. They're building momentum, so they're motivated to keep going. And three, anything over 15 hours, you're really kind of, it's another business for you. You're not just dabbling. So you've gone all in. You're dedicated. So that's where you want to get that little thing above 15 hours if you can. If you can't, obviously, it's going to take you a little bit longer, but at least this will give you the roadmap, and it's the foundation of your trading plan, because this will be your daily routine when you're going to dedicate to trading, and it's basically going to give you a tally up of everything, the entire year, so how long you're looking to spend on it over the year. Remember, 10,000 hours, 10,000 hour rule. This will show you that. And it also tells you the time percentage. So, everyone got anything from that? Everyone enjoy that? I think we're going to kind of wrap it up. I think we'll bring on, I think we'll wrap it up there. And I can't wait for tomorrow, because tomorrow we're going to be building on this. We're going to be showing you more and more trade plan development. I'm going to be showing you a strategy as well. I'm going to be teaching you a strategy. Many people haven't even seen this strategy before. I'm going to be giving you all the rules to that. We're going to be talking about Edge with Mike Bellafiore. We're going to be talking about what it takes to become a 7-figure trader as well. So the characteristics and personality traits in those guys, so you can get that belief transference that you can do it. They're just like any other guy. And we're going to give you away more tools tomorrow as well. So hopefully you got value. I hope you kind of enjoy the way this is structured and how it's going to build on, each day is going to build on the last and set you up for success in your trading once and for all. So guys, that's me done. Watch out for the email later on today. Darren, you want to say anything? And Kiri, want to say anything? Are we good to close off?